Phillips, are you suggesting to us that basically the purpose for you coming out here is to do meetings for your career, and then it just so happens that you'll testify in his criminal trial?
I was never given a specified date when I was supposed to be here.
Well, how did they arrange for you to come to work?
I just found out, I found out yesterday.
So you're saying the first time you knew that you were going to come to court was yesterday?
No, I found out that I was coming to court when we got on the speakerphone with the judge.
And then, and at that point in time, shortly after you flew out here, right?
Probably like a week or so later.
And you've been out here basically waiting to testify, is that right?
I also just been working on my artistry.
Okay, I'm not asking you how you managed to fill your time. I'm saying your purpose for being out here at this point in time is to testify in this criminal case, correct?
This is another check.
Can I ground you on
Yeah,
it?
you can. That's exactly what he asked, what he was doing.
I need a legal ground.
Oh, that's an answer.
I'm not asking.
Overruled.
Can you rephrase the question?
Sure. So, my question to you is, I understand that you are spending time while you're out here doing other things.
Yes.
Would you agree that the purpose for your coming out here was to testify in this trial?
As I said, I'm not too sure what day I was supposed to be here, but the judge told me when I spoke to him on the speakerphone, I have to be you're gonna have to testify or be a witness, and I guess you have to make yourself available. So I made sure I got to LA.
So, Mr. Phillips, if you can, I'm going to try to ask this question again. I'm not asking what the judge told you. I'm asking you, do you agree that the primary reason that you are out here in Los Angeles is to testify for your friend, Mr. Mayers?
It's one of the reasons why I'm in LA, yes.
Would you agree that it is the main reason that you are in Los Angeles?
It's a pretty important reason.
Isn't it true, Mr. Phillips, that the other things that you are doing
I think he messed up there.
are just ways for you to utilize the time since you happen to have to be out here to testify in his case? Is that right?
No, because every time I come to LA, I have my own business to take care of.
Okay. You mentioned that you have
messed
knowledge
up
and
with that answer.
experience with prop guns. Is that right?
Yes.
Do you have any knowledge and experience with real firearms?
No.
Have you ever shot a gun?
At the gun range,
A gun range, okay. How many times?
maybe 9 shots.
Oh, wait, let me just back up. Meaning, you only shot 9 rounds one time, or you've been to a range 9 times?
I've been to one gun range
Okay.
and only shot 9 times.
And do
So one clip.
you know the difference between a semi-automatic and a revolver?
Yes.
You understand that a revolver has a cylinder. Some people call them cowboy guns. They have a cylinder, and the rounds get put inside of the cylinder, and then they rotate when the shot's fired. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And you
The
understand that the
prosecutor's gonna use that
semi-automatic
answer.
has a magazine, some people call it a clip. You aware of that?
Yes.
And the prop gun that you testified to, was that a semi-automatic or was it a revolver?
I don't think it was a revolver or a semi-automatic. It looked like a handgun. It wasn't an actual semi-automatic.
Okay,
It was a prop.
so let me ask you this. So in other words, did it look like what is supposed to be a revolver,
No.
wheel, or did it look like what's supposed to be a semi-automatic with a magazine?
It looked like it was supposed to be a semi-automatic.
Yeah, I get it. I
Now,
just
you
don't like it.
mentioned that you have fired a prop gun, is that right?
No, I never mentioned I fired a prop gun. I mentioned I handled them in my videos.
Oh, so in your videos, you didn't actually fire it?
No.
Is that, I asked that. Did you fire the prop gun in your video?
No.
Did somebody else in your presence fire the prop gun in your video?
No, that wasn't the motive of the scene.
Okay, so the prop gun in your video, you never saw fire.
No.
Have you ever seen a prop gun fired other than what you're alleging occurred during this incident?
I attempted to work over much more.
Overall.
I guess just in movies and behind the scenes of movies and stuff. I'm a movie buff, so yes, I've seen them playing movies.
Do you think that you have the ability, by looking at a gun, to determine whether it is, for instance, a prop gun or instead a 9mm semi-automatic actual firearm?
Can you rephrase that question?
Yeah. So do you think by looking at it, seeing, that you can tell the difference between a prop gun that's supposed to simulate like a 9mm firearm versus a real 9mm firearm? Do you think, can you tell the difference?
Well, I can't tell the difference, but in this situation,
Motion to strike.
Sustained. So the answer is no.
no.
And you testified that there were 3 other incidents where you saw the defendant with a prop gun.
Yes.
Is that correct? And you actually gave the dates of those, is that right?
Yes.
And are you able to say whether that was the same prop gun as you alleged that he had on the night of November 6th?
Okay. Yes, because in New York, when I seen him the weekend of the Governor's Ball show, he showed me the new clip that was modified so it could be secure on his waist.
Okay.
I seen that. And then that was the same exact device I seen in LA,
So by a clip, you're just talking about,
a belt clip.
yeah, belt clip. Let me ask you something. Is there any reason why you couldn't have a belt clip that would hold a prop gun and use that belt clip to hold a real firearm?
No, to my understanding, a real firearm is heavier than a prop.
Well, if it's a
Doesn't
clip,
matter. Reasonable doubt still
can you
there.
explain to me how a belt clip, which is put on your belt, how the weight of the firearm would prevent it from being holstered in that kind of clip?
Objection, Roman. This is
Relevant?
Yes, I'm an expert, open speculation.
Your Honor, he testified that it's the same gun, and I'm trying to explore why he thinks it's the same gun. I have to explore the area. I got to cross it.
Sanction.
He says he has no experience with real guns,
Your Honor, he
except that he fired.
No, but I'm asking about the prop gun. I'm asking him why is it that he believes it was a prop gun. Let me.
All right. I understand your point.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
Let me ask. So here's what I'm asking. You're telling me you saw him with a gun in New York. How long before this incident?
A prop gun in New York, that was probably about a month and a week, or a month or 2 weeks before we went to LA.
And you're saying that the reason you know that was the same prop gun that you're alleging he used on November 6th was because they were both in the same belt clip, correct?
That's because he had
Yes.
seen it
So
before.
my question to you is, how would you know that the same gun or prop gun or firearm was in his belt clip in New York 6 weeks before this incident, as was in his as was in his belt on the night that this occurred? How do you know it's the same thing?
Can you rephrase that?
So what I'm asking Mr. Phillips is, all you can say is that, you know what, he had a gun, it looked like a semi-automatic, you testified, I don't know the difference between a prop gun and a semi-automatic, I can't tell. And you're saying in New York, he had one in his belt clip, and you're going, I know that's the same prop gun that he had on November 6th because it's in the same clip. And what I'm asking you is, how do you know that on November 6th, just by looking, that was the same prop gun?
I knew it was the same modifications from the prop gun that I seen in New York. And I knew it had been modified from the first time I seen it at the DMV video shoot. So I knew it had like a specific look.
Okay, so let's back up. How was it modified? What specific look did it?
It just had a belt clip and I think a clear clip as far as the magazine.
So are you aware, when you're talking about a magazine, and you're talking about a belt clip, that could be used with certain other firearms?
Well, I'm not too sure, but I knew from my understanding, from being at the video shoot, seeing him again, being with him multiple times, I'm familiar that I believe it was the same one. I don't think he was just switching around props.
Well, when you say you don't think he was just switching around, You've already said you don't have any expertise in real firearms.
No, I don't.
You've shot a gun a total of 9 times in your life, 9 rounds on one occasion. So wouldn't you agree that you can't tell us anything about whether or not those were the same guns or not, other than they were in the same belt clip and they looked by the magazine and the color?
Well, aside from, this being my friend and having a conversation about it, he gave me like, oh, this is.
Motion to strike is non-responsive. So what you're saying is that the only reason you can say it's the same gun is because he told you so.
He told me and I seen it.
Okay. But by the way, what if he was lying?
Objection.
Sorry, sustain.
Do you know, Mr. Phillips,
Yes.
when someone tells you something, particularly in this situation, you don't have any independent information to demonstrate that it's the same gun other than what you've said, correct?
Correct. But he would have no reason to lie to me. So,
He would. So you decided, Mr. Phillips, you decided that the defendant has no reason to lie to you, and so therefore, you're accepting whatever he says as the truth. Is that correct?
I'm not just accepting it as the truth. I can see it with my own eyes.
You can
Good
see
recovery.
a gun that you have no experience identifying with, and that you have decided is the same gun because it's in a clip and has a similar looking magazine. Is that correct?
Rephrase that.
So you've decided that it's the same gun and that you believe him. You just said, I'm looking at it myself as well, because you looked at it and it looks the same to you. So you're saying, I looked at it, it looks the same, correct?
Yes.
But you're also saying, I don't know anything about guns.
Well, I
That's about
don't.
that.
I just, from my recollection, I knew it to be the same device from the previous situation.
It's time to move on to another topic.
When you,
It's time to move on to another topic.
when you use the word prop gun and starter pistol, are you using those terms interchangeably?
I believe prop gun is the section of it, and then a starter pistol is under the prop gun. Like I guess it's
Subset.
I guess it's like a certain kind of prop gun. A starter pistol is a certain kind of prop gun.
Okay, so when you spoke to the defense, did you tell them that Rocky carried a starter pistol prop for security measures? Are those
Yes.
your words?
Yes.
Do you actually know specifically how a prop gun works? How it's fired, what happens when it's fired?
No, I don't.
Now, you testified that Mr. Mayers carried the starter pistol for, quote, security measures. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you said in your statement, would you agree that the only thing that you mentioned about that was he was known to do after being the victim of violence and home invasion?
Judge, objection to your statement.
Your Honor,
Sustain.
Your Honor, this has been presented as his
Objection,
statement.
speaking objective.
Right.
Get to it, John.
That is a summary of his statement.
I'm going to give this to you again. I want you to review it. And I want you to tell me if there is anything in this statement that is not, in fact, what you said to the defense. I want you to read it to yourself. Do you understand?
You said that I did not say.
No, that you, yeah, correct. I want you to read this. This is being represented as what you said.
Objection.
A summary of what he said.
A summary.
The
So-
summary says it's not word for word.
No, correct, there's no quotes, I want you to ask, I want you to read it, I want you to tell me, after you've read it, is there anything in there that is not a representation of what you said to them?
That wasn't nothing they did.
So you're saying that's all correct of what you said, is that correct?
This is a summary, so I'm not too sure, like, I see it as this is what I said, and it could be things that I said that they didn't put there, but this is just a summary. I'm not too sure.
So let me ask you again. So here's what I'm asking you. I'm asking you, is there anything in here that is incorrect that you did not tell them?
No.
So all right. So at this point, Mr. Phillips, you've now said that this represents everything in here is what you said. You said there might be things that are not in here that you said, but there's nothing in here that you've read about what you said that you did not in sum and substance say.
Can you rephrase that?
Yeah,
I don't understand you.
Sure. What I'm asking you is,
Using a lot
you've
of
read
words.
these 12 lines.
Yes.
These 12 lines, you're saying, you know what, these might not be my exact words, but this is what I told him.
A summary, yes.
Yes. And you were saying, I might have told him some things that are not here, correct?
No,
So this is this is everything you told him?
pretty much I believe.
Well, let me ask you something. I want you to look and I want you to tell me where there's anything about any prior incidents with Rocky carrying a prop gun.
Objection to relevancy.
Sustain.
Got him.
On relevance grounds, Your Honor?
Correct. Whether he sees it or not is irrelevant.
Is there anything in these 12 lines that you've said is a complete, as far as you know, version of what you said? Is there anything about any incidents that you've testified to regarding Rocky and the prop guns?
Relevancy objection again.
Is the question?
Is there anything in these 12 lines that you've said is a complete, as far as you know, version of what you said? Is there anything about any incidents that you've testified to regarding Rocky and the prop guns?
Ask the question.
Okay, so what I'm asking you is, you testified on direct about 3 incidents with Rocky involving with prop guns. Do you know that?
Yes.
You agree there's nothing in here about any specific incident, is that right?
Objection.
Well,
Relevancy.
I
Come
don't
on,
see it.
Stop,
but
stop.
Come on,
stop.
John.
Let's sustain. It's not relevant. That he doesn't see anything about the 3 incidents in there. It's not relevant that he didn't see. Or that it's not in there.
You just testified that this is a complete version of what you told the defense. You just testified.
Did not say that.
It mistakes the other. That's not what he said.
So, Mr. Phillips,
Yeah.
did you discuss
This guy's
with the
crashing and
defense
burning. This is so
in
bad.
advance of you testifying these 3 incidents regarding Rocky possessing a prop gun?
See, in 2024, when we first had our meeting, maybe I could have said something about it, but I'm not too sure.
Well, so let me ask you something. You would agree that, as far as you know, the first time that you related the information about these prior incidents with the prop gun was not when you were on the stand today, correct? Meaning, you had already told the defense about these incidents with Rocky and the prop gun, correct?
I think so, I believe so, I'm not too sure.
Well, let me ask you, Mr. Rose, would you agree that it would be really important if you're trying to explain the situation with the prop gun, that you would have communicated, hey, listen, I've seen Rocky 3 other times with a prop gun. Would you agree that'd be important?
Yes.
So, do you believe that you would have told the defense of that important information when they interviewed you?
Maybe, I'm not too sure, it was a while ago.
Do you agree that there's no mention of it in what I handed you?
This is,
What's the grounds?
Relevancy. Same thing you did say.
It's not relevant that it's not in there.
Let it go, John. John up there looking like a middle school principal. Get the fuck out of here.
Now, you're aware that at the time of this incident, that Mr. Mayers, let me back up. Can you explain, you said that he carried the starter pistol for security measures, and you then expanded that to say he did so after being a victim of violence and home invasions, correct? Can you explain to me how a starter pistol would assist someone who was the victim of violence or a home invasion?
Well, only answer that I have is that you could scare somebody away with it. That's the only thing that I have.
So if somebody was doing a home invasion, I want you to assume the following hypothetical.
Yes.
An individual does a home invasion and they have a weapon such as a firearm. Would you agree that a prop gun is not going to act as a deterrent to someone with a real firearm?
That's how. That's a hypothetical situation.
You don't have to answer, the objection's sustained.
Mr. Phillips, can a prop gun, in your experience, does it have the ability to actually stop somebody from committing violence against you?
What? He doesn't know?
From my understanding with the situation with Relly, no.
In fact, the reason you say that is, it's your testimony that Relly knew it was a prop gun, correct?
Yes.
I'm going to get back to this in a moment. In the entertainment world, in the rap world that you are involved with, are you aware of individuals, of rappers, unfortunately, who have been subjected to violence, even who've been murdered?
Objection,
Overruled.
Yes.
Would you agree that if someone was out to commit a violent offense against an individual, that a prop gun is not going to be a match for a real gun or a knife or any other kind of weapon? Would you agree?
Well,
Just say you
I'm
don't
not
know.
too sure because I'm not in another person's shoe, and I'm not too sure how they would react to seeing the prop gun.
I want to give you the following hypothetical. I want you to assume that you're in your own home and home invaders come into your house with real firearms. Would you agree that a prop gun is not going to be the kind of weapon that's going to have any ability to stop those individuals?
I'm not too sure.
So you think that an individual, someone comes in with actual firearms, person pulls a prop gun, can you explain to me what they can do with that prop gun when they're up against somebody with a real firearm?
Well, the prop gun sounds and looks like a real gun. So I feel like if somebody's breaking into your home and they see you make a gesture to protect your home, they might not even shoot you. They might just leave. They
Don't.
go,
So,
You're getting a little bit loud. Don't
That's
sit
a
so
great
close to the
analogy.
so it's your testimony, though.
Because that's a great analogy. Because the person breaking into your home is the aggressor. Ooh. And this man's just telling the truth. John Lewin is getting cooked right now. So you say, yeah, somebody breaks into your home, they're trying to hurt you. If you have a prop gun, it might deter them. Wow. Amazing.
Your prior statements that Relly knew, allegedly, this was a prop gun at the time the defendant pulled it out. Is that correct?
yes, I believe that.
Can you explain to me how if Relly knew it was a prop gun, how pulling out a prop gun that Relly knows is fake is going to act as a deterrent to anything?
Crazy.
The sound.
It's a truthful answer.
The sound.
Yes, the sound.
So meaning your testimony would be that if Relly sees a gun that he knows is fake, you would agree a prop gun can't hurt him. Would you agree?
Correct.
But that if that prop gun that can't hurt him is fired, that the sound is going to scare him.
Or I would reject what you stated upon another speculation.
Overruled.
Can you rephrase it?
Are you saying that even though you testified Relly knew that this was a prop gun, and not real, you're saying the deterrent would have been that, well, the sound could have scared him.
Yes.
Can you explain how the sound of a gun that somebody knows is phony and not real is going to scare anybody?
Well, it's so loud that you would think it's a real gunshot and you would move away.
But you just told us, sir, that it's not a question of whether he thinks it's a real gun or not. Your position, your testimony is that he knew it was a fake gun, and that as soon as the defendant pulled it out, he said something to the effect of, put that fake shit away. Correct? That's what he testified.
Which is going against the prosecutor's point, because Relly didn't run away. So just because you're proving the point that a prop gun wouldn't be a good defense, you're also proving the defense's point because Relly didn't run off. I don't know what John Lewin is doing here. Maybe he's just so outside the realm of understanding a jury and how a jury would think in this case. But he's making the defense's point for them. I don't know what John's doing here.